Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, I'm going to post a video that Colin Noir posted. And all this shit goes back to the Second Amendment. See, if they can't take your Second Amendment rights, they can't take your freedom. So that has to be taken. And if you look, these Democrats like AOC, Nancy Pelosi, Rashida Tlaib, it's what they want to do. They want to take your Second Amendment rights. Are you going to let them? No, the Second Amendment is the most important amendment. What did Dave Chappelle say? Hey, the First Amendment is the First Amendment. The Second Amendment is there to back that motherfucker up in case it just doesn't work. Keep your guns. Keep your guns. And I keep saying, look what's happening in Australia, right? They wouldn't be able to put up internment camps. I'm going to call them internment camps, prison camps, whatever you want to call them, if Australians were still armed. And almost as soon as they took away their Second Amendment rights, then these camps pop up because you don't have the ability, not the right, the ability to defend yourself. So anytime, I do not back down ever on the Second Amendment. Do I believe people should have fucking nuclear weapons? Yeah, if you can afford it, get it. Because people who can afford it and get it are not going to go around blowing up shit. You know why? Because they have an awful lot to lose. But let's get into this video and see what's going on.
Meet Wack 100. Wack 100 is well known in the hip hop industry. He's a hip hop label executive and a managing director of rappers The Game and Blueface. Wack also has known gang affiliations with the Blood Gang in California. He doesn't hide it at all. Hell, he wears it like a badge of honor. Recently, Wack 100 took part in a Clubhouse discussion about the violence in LA and how the violence is getting so bad that he's leaving. I want to make this video to demonstrate to the scores of people out there who live in a fantasy world where they think the cops will always be there to protect them or believe that gun control will make them feel safer.
And actually, living 21 years in Washington State, gun control laws are just for law-abiding citizens. Law-abiding citizens. It got to the point too where, as a firearms instructor, a defense instructor, I was wearing my gun so much that it became uncomfortable. Not the gun itself, not the presence of it, very comfortable with it. But it's like if I have to walk out of my front door carrying a gun in a rich neighborhood, private golf course, all that stuff, what the fuck is going on here? And I left and I came back to South Texas. Let's continue.
When a known street dude in Blood Gang affiliate starts saying he's never seen anything like this before, you might want to wake up and start paying attention.
So before we begin on the Wack 100 interview, let me tell you a little story, right? So the first wife, we were married for 16 years. She's from LA. Her brother-in-law is from Compton. He's a cousin of Eazy-E. And so he saw the whole NWA thing put together. They would be, he said, in Eazy's garage doing crack, right? But my car broke down and I had to go get it fixed. We go to a Crip part of Compton to get my car fixed. And I'm wearing my Texas A&M gear. Go Aggies, right? And as you all know, the Texas A&M gear is red, black, and white. So I got the shoes, I got the pants, the jersey. And I walk in, and one of the Crip guys goes, he told Wayne, that was my brother-in-law, he goes, who the fuck did you bring here? And then he walks over to me and he goes, do you know where the fuck you are? And I'm like, now this is, I don't mean to be explicit about it, but this is how the conversation went down. He goes, do you know where the fuck you are? It's like, I'm in a fucking garage. And he goes, nah, nigga, do you know where the fuck you are? I'm like, yeah, I'm in a fucking garage. Can you fix my car or not? What the fuck? And so dude starts laughing. Everybody had at this point, and there were like 30 people in there. Everybody at this point has stood up. And he goes, you're not from around, or he goes, you're not from here, are you? I was like, no, I'm from Texas. And he goes, you know what? We're going to fix your car. They replaced the whole fucking engine for free. But he goes, we're going to fix your car. I was like, okay, cool then. What, how much is it going to cost me? He was like, it's not going to cost you anything. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I love you niggas from Texas. It's like, what? He's like, yeah, because y'all just ride in and do your thing. Y'all are crazy. And I'm like, oh, wow, thank you. But I got my car fixed for free, so I guess that's something. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't come here right now, bro, because if you don't know what's going on and how to move, you will get moved on. They looking for victims to rob, people with jury, women with bags. You land this, you think you on Hollywood Boulevard and la 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 la. This is jumping out, getting to it. You know what I'm saying? So, all the street, because we kind of in the hood or we managed to afford at the house. You know what I mean? But nah, I wouldn't. It's not safe out here right now, bro. Nowhere. It's murders and shit. Hey, bro, it's different, bro. It got everybody off balance right now. Usually it flow too.
You know what? I just had this thought. Let me give this to Wack 100, right? Now, keep in mind, he has more gray hairs in his goatee than I have in mine. But he's talking like a grown-ass man. Listen to this interview and actually listen to what he's saying.
We ain't seen this before, and it's what it is. But right now, everybody kind of scratching their head, and it's gonna get worse because they about to release a whole lot of inmates early. That's about to happen over the next 90 days. But yet, it ain't really nothing for them out here to do but fall into the pit. You know what I mean?
So now what you're listening to is a known blood gang affiliate speaking against prison reform. That people who've never seen violence like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, that's what they want. They want to shut everything down, shut the prisons down. They've never seen, they don't know what's in there. I've worked in those systems. I know what's in there. Look on this goddamn wall, right? You see that bail enforcement shit? And you see me there with my best buddy? I know what's out there. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. I know it. I've walked in these streets. I've done a lot of things in my life. Hell, I'm a fucking 4-time combat veteran. I've never seen anything worse than being in these streets in the United States of America. Let's go.
The youngsters, I don't know, because it's damn near like some teams that came into town, and because when we check track, we can't identify where it's coming from, bro.
Wow.
We got,
Now to check traps, that's one of the things the OGs do, right? So they'll go and see what crime is committed where, right? And they'll pull the young people in and say, hey, you can't do that. You're not going to make it in this game if you do that for too long. That's what Wack is talking about. I know. Dan is a lot more connected to the streets than people thought. That's what made me a great bounty hunter.
We still in tune with our little homeboys out here, right? We just don't do it how they want to do it, but it's been a module, bro. And it's at a point, you know, these holiday seasons gonna be dangerous. It's at a point, bro, to where even the police department is recognizing, like, by the time they respond and get there, it's too late. And folks is sticking up restaurants, bro, like it's crazy. It's been some defunding of the police out here. And I got a relative, right, who's law enforcement down in Parkinson. He told me straight up, they didn't cut back like 30%. You know, all the little special units, you know, robbery, homicide, and even the child, the kidnapping and shit. And the ones that are there, a lot of the little benefits, little perks they was getting, they ain't getting. So they got to do is like, we're going to respond like we're supposed to respond. We ain't in a rush to get there. And the streets know it. You know what I mean? The youngsters know it. So they moving. Now they got this thing that like anything under $1,000, they ain't even come for you, take you to the precinct. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of these laws that kind of relaxed. And when the laws relaxed, on top of the focus, this time last year, everybody was on the EDD kit.
Yeah.
It's gone. They didn't ran through that money. They don't know how to, you know, it's back to the drawing board. So they trying to go get it. So, you know, I will say, bro, I have never been in these conditions. Everybody's on the left.
So you just heard a known gang member who's changed his life. I got to give it to him. He's managing several people, several big hip hop people. But he's changed his life and he's talking like a grown ass man. You know what? I got to give it up to Wack 100. He's talking like a grown ass man. And that's the problem in the hip hop culture. We don't have enough Wack 100s talking like grown ass men. Let's continue.
Everybody paranoid. Everybody watching where they going. You know, one thing about it, they ain't discriminating. They going up in these Beverly Hills, Hollywood. They going through there. No problem. You know what I'm saying? So, Rodale gonna be real dangerous, bro. Between now and Christmas Eve, Rodale Drive gonna be dangerous. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, Hocus, I'll float around on 11, just because we.
Now, notice, now you're seeing all these Democratic leaders come out and say, oh, we got to address this. You created it. You created it. It's ridiculous. Let's continue.
That's us. Hocus, I'm on a 35. They get the Home Depot. You know what they got, Hocus? They went in there and took all crowbars and hammers, bro. Everything they need to go is, I've never seen it.
That's gonna cause some martial law.
Hocus only got like 7 more days. I'm out, bro. I'm done.
Where you going, Dubai?
I already got a tail number book. I'm coming back to the East Coast. I'm out.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I'm gonna let it clear up. I'm gonna sit over there and I'm gonna go over to London. And then by the time I double back, it's different, my nigga. You're gonna end up doing something. You know what us Hocus is like? It's a lose-lose for us. We mind our business. We may save our life, but we're gonna lose our freedom.
Yeah, the brother Slim somebody took their brother out, man. They wilding out there, man, in Cali, man.
Yeah, the West Coast getting bad.
No, yeah.
You see how she says, oh, the West Coast is getting bad. It's your liberal fucking empty-minded thoughts and not thinking about the future is what's making this shit bad. It ain't getting bad, it's been bad. And it's those thoughts. Empty prisons, abolish the police. How can you support this? This is fucking ridiculous.
Hey, bro, and that's just the ones y'all hearing about. These niggas is on the freeway with it. They pulling up, getting down on the freeway, getting down is on motorcycles. They ain't, you know what I mean?
That was California, yes.
In broad daylight.
Yeah, broad daylight. Like it's different. Wow. You know, usually it be like, you know what's happening because this neighborhood getting at it, so you know what to expect or whatever. Nah, but this shit is just random shit everywhere. Like 30 little fires going on at all times. I mean, you got to remember, for the first time, usually we know where it's coming from. Because we know where it's coming from,
Right.
we can put the fire out. The other day, we sat down and had a meeting, and you got is at the table, we looking at each other like, all right, well, what?
Now, this is a gang meeting of the organized criminals, right? It's like the old mafia shit. Like, who's doing this? What the fuck is going on? You're bringing too much attention. They don't know. Could you imagine that? But this is what the AOCs and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Maxine Waters of the world and the Joe Bidens and the Kamala Harrises of the world get you.
It ain't us. Well, was it? It ain't us.
Some
Because the shit they doing, it's some shit they doing that we don't do like that. Oh, because you know, like certain parts of New York, y'all know you just don't play. So it's like you look up, right? And you're pulling a robbery at Del Frisco's on 49th and 6. You be like, yo, bro, hold on, that we don't fuck around.
Yeah, and they're just
That's your man.
42nd
Yeah,
somewhere.
but they don't give a, they hitting these spots like it's the back streets in the hood.
But you know, it's deep. I made a prediction a while back. I said the next thing they're gonna do is you're gonna hear a lot more about school shootings, mass shootings, public shootings, gun control. But see, in order for them to really do what they want to do, they have to find a.
I think I just made that point. Did I not?
Way to undermine the Second Amendment. So you have to understand that out of 196 countries on the planet, there are only 3 remaining countries that have the right to bear arms in their constitution. That's the US, Guatemala, and Mexico.
And that is very important. Even if you look at the COVID lockdowns, all this shit they want to take, it's always about your Second Amendment rights. You know what? Buy a gun. If you don't have a gun, even if you don't think you need a gun, buy a fucking gun. And as a firearms instructor, I'm gonna tell you this. Here's what I'll do for my viewers. If you buy a gun, contact me. I will teach you how to operate that gun. That's how important the Second Amendment is. We'll do it over Zoom. Hell, I have my buddy, Dr. Dan Rybecki. He does his classes over Zoom for free. That's how important the Second Amendment is. It's the glue that holds everything together.
And so, mark my words, you're going to hear a lot more about this in the media to tap into the emotions of the people to figure out, oh, we got to get these assault rifles off the street, this and that. Because see, then they can go in and start doing some guerrilla stuff and just see, when you look at like other countries, when they're throwing people in camps when not getting vaccinated and all of that, they could do that because the people are not armed. And so they're going to try to do that here. But they have to first figure out, how do we get these assault rifles off the street? So that's what I'm thinking. That
You got to remember, they tried to trace a weapon in Chicago. Hey, bro, man. Hey, listen. I'm blessed to all my women, all our women. Go, the ones that don't got criminal records, go get a registered firearm. Also, go to the range, get somebody to.
Fact, my little sister, I'm about to give a firearms lesson to, and make sure she has her daughters there. She has 3 of them. And I'm going to make sure those girls can shoot. Because it takes them from victim to victor.
Train you are men. My daughter's 17. She's been going to the range for a year now with a trainer. You know what I mean? Her and her mother together. Like, train your family, have those conversations in the home, pay attention to your animals around the home. Don't take it for granted. If they're reacting to something, they get up, they go into the door and things like that. Like, pay attention, man, because if you get the drop on them, it may be the difference between your life and theirs. Yep, real.
Wack 100, I appreciate this, brother. I'm not going to call him the N-word. I'm going to call him a brother. Here's why, right? He's speaking truth. He's doing the right thing. In this instance, he's doing the right thing. He's making sure his daughter's trained. He's making sure his house is taken care of. He's telling you the truth. This is the truth from the fucking ground. This is the truth from the street. LA's never been a safe place. But when you have people like this who are taking extra precautions and they're in the street, what extra precautions do you have to take where you live? Let's finish this out.
Guns aren't political. That's why.
Thank you. And Colin goes on to say some stuff. But look where we are. Now they want to react. Now they want to react. After they've caused most of this, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. You've heard right here a known gang member in his own words saying, hey, this shit is not safe. You've heard in his own words a known gang member speak against prison reform and letting people out of prison, shutting down prisons. But you'll see the AOCs and the Rashida Tlaibs who've never one day in their fucking life, I guarantee it, seen violence, been in violence. And I'm a 4-time combat veteran. I've done many things. I worked in a field where I was presented with violence on a daily basis for fucking 21 years. And I can tell you people like that, like the AOCs and Rashida Tlaibs and the Maxine Waters and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Chuck Schumers have never, ever been presented with violence. It's never been on their doorstep. And when it gets close, you look what they do. Look what they do. Rashida Tlaib. I know. No, who was that? Whatever her name was. I know I need security because my life is important and it's important that I'm here on this earth. But they never really seen violence. They're imposters. They're jokers. They're ridiculous. Hey, take what I say at base level, but no matter what you do, like, subscribe, share, keep your powder dry, especially in these days and times, do what you gotta do.